Hi kids, it's Kristen. So for today's video, I am going to go over all the new palettes I tried in January. And by new, I mean new to me. A lot of these palettes aren't necessarily new to the world of makeup. Because, you know, sometimes you just don't always get on the new things and you get them a little while later down the line. So some people think, you know, you don't want to talk about old makeup, but I don't mind hearing other people talk about older makeup because sometimes you miss something or it comes out and you think it's not for you, and you're like, you see somebody talk about it down the line and you're like, oh, maybe that is for me, and maybe now you can get it on a sale or something because it's not brand new. So I don't mind it. I found some gems that way, or like brands I hadn't heard of until recently, and I want to get some of their older products because I'm interested now. And this is going to be in no particular order, just what I grab. So first up we have the Bite Size Eyeshadow in Orange Dreamsicle from e.l.f. I think when I got this, I probably didn't look too closely at the colors. I just heard Orange Dreamsicle and thought it was going to be like a really awesome little orange palette. And they are orange leaning colors, but they're very similar. So I tried it, it was fine. It was just very one-dimensional because the colors are so similar. I was hoping for a little bit more variety and depth, but I also got it super cheap. e.l.f. was having like a 60% off sale, so I think it was like $1.20 or something, $1.40, something like that. So I probably will pass this on, or I did think about maybe trying it with this other palette that I tried. It is Modern Muse. It's by Play Beauty. I picked it up at Marshall's, and so looking in on it, it's kind of the same issue I had with the e.l.f. palette. A lot of the colors are very similar. Like these two are very, very similar. Also these two bottom ones, this one's a little purple leaning, but they're very, very similar. And there's only two shimmers, and when I made my look, I used this like purpley shifty one, and the shimmer was really great. The mattes were fine. It's just kind of one-dimensional. You can't make a lot of looks out of it, but I thought maybe I would try a look where I paired these two together and maybe I could find a little more use for both of them. This is just pretty neutral, and I don't generally go for neutrals, but I was really happy with the look I came up with. And I'm glad I tried it because I did like the formula. I did try like a lippy from them as well that I really, really dislike, so I was kind of hesitant to buy this, and I'm glad I did because I really did like the formula, even if the color story is a little too basic for me, just as it is. That way I know maybe down the line if I see something that I'm a little more interested in color story wise, I'll have a little more faith in the formula. So next up we have an indie brand. You can find them on Etsy. It's Ladybug Glow, and this is their palette, and it's really pretty. It's got a lot of pretty bright colors, and then it's got only 3 shimmers, which I kind of would like a more even ratio. I do love my shimmers, but the silver one is so pretty. I really enjoyed it. And then these two here are like duo multi-chrome ones, so they're really gorgeous, and for the price point to get a couple multi-chromes in a palette is really good. I think original the price is like $31, but she's like having sales all the time, so I ended up getting it for like $21 maybe, and then with shipping in Texas it was close to $25, which, I mean, 2 multi-chromes you might be paying anywhere from $30 to $40 for just 2 single multi-chromes from another indie brand. So I thought that was really great, and I also just liked how the mattes performed as well, so I was excited about that. And I think that's the only product they have right now. I know that they were working on another eyeshadow palette and some blushes. The blushes had sold out, and but I know she was looking at putting out more stuff soon, so I'm kind of excited to look at maybe some blushes. The next one is this Poison Ivy palette from Moulin Rouge. I'm not exactly sure. This I got in my mystery box from Allie Dawson. And here's the look. You know, I love my green, so I really enjoyed this palette. I made a nice look with it. I wouldn't say like anything blew me away, but it was really nice and I enjoyed it. My only real gripe with it is this Vine shade right here is a pressed glitter, and pressed glitters are dumb. I'm gonna have to beat around the bush. Oh, this next one is from probably my favorite eyeshadow company. It's Odin's Eye. It's the Elva 2 Mini Ocean palette. It's really hard to see the cover even off camera because it's like a light gold on the blue. And here is the color story. And I love the formula. I loved the little blue silver look I made. My kind of issue with it is the color story. Like, I'm not sure what these colors have to do with the ocean. And I know like blue and orange are supposed to be like complementary, but I don't care for the blue orange vibe together myself. So what I would have liked maybe was like a deep blue matte, maybe like a green or something, just to like, or even like a very white shimmer or even white matte to be like a white sandy beach that made it more ocean-like, and I feel like I could get more looks out of it, where I probably won't pair these two with any other color. So but I love the formula. I love Odin's Eye. I would say they're my favorite eyeshadow company. Next up is another palette that I got in my mystery box from Allie Dawson. And I actually do have this palette already that I've never used, but I thought since I got it again, maybe it was a sign. This is from Wander Beauty, and it's okay. It's not a bad palette. Like, the shimmers are nice, the mattes are nice, but you know, it's a neutral palette with the blue. It's not exciting to me, so I don't know if I'll keep this. I just feel like I have a lot like this, and it's just not my favorite. These next two palettes were Christmas presents from my mother-in-law. So hi Kathy, if you're watching. So I love them already, even if they were horrible, but they weren't horrible. First up is the Naked Wild West palette from Urban Decay. Now this came out like a year and a half ago, and I thought, not this last Christmas, the Christmas before, like a couple months after it came out, I was like, oh, it'll probably go on sale and I'll get it then, because there's just something about the turquoise. Like, I know it's technically like a blue shade with a bunch of neutrals, but there's something about the turquoise and the colors and just the theming that just got to me. Sorry if you hear the dogs. I think my husband's coming home. But it didn't go on sale that last Christmas, and so I didn't end up picking it up for myself, and Kathy got it for me for Christmas, so I really am happy about that and very excited that I got some makeup, especially some makeup I've been eyeing for a while. And the only other Naked palette I have is the Naked Honey palette from Urban Decay, so I was happy with that. I'm not really interested in like the old school Naked palettes, just because they are just completely neutral, and I have plenty of neutral palettes. And then I got another Naked palette. It is when Urban Decay collabed with Robin Eisenberg, and once again it does have like the neutrals with the blues, but it's like bluish green and almost some bluish purple, so there's a little more dimension to that. And I wore it out to dinner one night with my husband, and I got a compliment, so I love that. I'm really happy to have them. Thanks again, Kathy. downstairs. Next one is So Fly from ColourPop. Once again, kind of got that story where it's a lot of neutrals with a blue, but some of the neutrals are like pink and orange leaning, and it's like the middle one's like a duochrome. So I enjoyed this palette and I like the look I made with it. But just because it is more of a neutral palette, I won't reach for it a ton, but I did like it. This next palette is Club Daddy by Artist Couture, and I don't know who that is, but if anybody knows, wants to educate me, I would appreciate it. So I love this palette. I really like the look I made with it. This is definitely my color story with the pinks, blues, purples, and I really enjoyed it. I got it off a BoxyCharm sale, so I think I paid like $10 for it, something like that. And I really liked it. I like the formula. I only have, I think, one Artist Couture palette, and the formula was like one of those where I wasn't blown away. I didn't hate it, but this one I think really was much better. So I'm happy with that. Next up is, and I'm probably gonna say the name of the company wrong, Modus Dam. I did do a 2 looks and a review video with it. It's a Bite with Pride, and for one, just the packaging I love because it's like dark and spooky, but it's colorful. So, and that's like me. Either I'm wearing like, you know, hoodies with skulls and stuff on them, or I'm wearing hoodies that are tie-dye. So that's the color story. It's kind of your basic rainbow palette. Whoops. I think it would be really good for somebody who is just trying out colors because it's like matte, shimmer, matte, shimmer, matte, shimmer. So you kind of goes together like that. So it's not like super original necessarily for a rainbow colored palette, but it's very pretty and I really like the looks I made with it. So I'm really happy about that. Next up, I have Season of the Witch. Hey, baby.
Hey, beautiful.
This is from Wicked Sisters Cosmetics. They are another indie brand, obviously. Yes, I don't know why, obviously. But here it is. Very colorful. I like it. I did use that red sparkly shade, which red is not generally my look, but it actually was very pretty. A lot of bright colors, very pretty, very my color story, and it was it had good longevity. I think I wore the 2 looks for probably 8 hours and it didn't crease up or fade really bad on me or anything like that, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now, unfortunately, like I said, I didn't put this in any particular order, but we're kind of going to end on like a bleh note. This is probably the palette I like the least, and it was pretty obvious that this would be my least liked. It's called the Nola palette by Tatiana Ines. Sorry, not sure I pronounced that right. This is another palette that I got in my mystery box I bought from Allie Dawson. So if you look into it, so once again, color story, kind of neutral, kind of blah, with just a little bit of pink, a little bit of blue. So basically, there's 3 shimmers on top, and 2 of them are very neutral, and there's the blue shimmer. And then you got 2 pressed glitters, which I absolutely hate, and like, I mean, they're rock hard, like nothing. Like, I sound like a DJ rubbing it, and nothing came off, like, not even a glitter. I did make 1 look with it, and it was fine. It wasn't great, and for just the color story mixed with the pressed glitters that you can't even use even if you liked pressed glitters, it was just kind of a loser for me. So unfortunately we ended on kind of a blah note, But there was a lot that I liked. This was really the only obvious one that I was like, oh, that's awful. Hi, BMO. This is BMO. This is my bad dog. It's Charlie, my old dog. So we came down to make the end of the video better since we ended on a that kind of sucked note. So hopefully that made up for it. So, but thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. For the month of February, what I'm going to try and do is like any new products I use, just not just eyeshadow palettes, kind of do a review of those, and see how that goes. And hopefully I can keep track of everything. It's kind of my weakness, is keeping track of stuff. So, but if you enjoy this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you like, share, and subscribe, and get those numbers up. It would mean so much to me. So thank you guys, and we will see you later. Bye, kids.